Welcome to the Art of Love Masterclass with me, your coach, Lori Gerber. I am so excited to have you here. Get comfortable, get a notebook, get a pen, and get ready. Okay, I want to ask you something. Are you exhausted by dating? Are you starting to lose hope or give up? Are you still not over a past breakup, maybe? Do you feel like you just can't make it work in love? It is not your fault and you are not alone, but it is your job to find the solution. And very good news, I have it. Likely you have been working too hard, actually, but on the wrong things and believing the wrong thoughts. And I bet you've just been picking badly. Wouldn't it be amazing to learn a new way of dating where you are free from the past, where you feel confident that you will pick well and be picked, where you'll be able to sustain great communication for the long haul? Yeah, I want to help you stop the bad patterns and get exactly that. And by the end of this masterclass, I'm going to prove it simple. I didn't say easy, but I did say simple. You're going to learn how to believe in love, attract the right candidates, choose the right one without any more hours spent complaining to friends or your therapist or tears spent over your ex. Are you interested in that? I hope so. There are literal steps to take to get those things, and I will show you how thousands of my clients have done it. And at the very end, I'm going to give you access to an extremely important resource. Now, what I am about to tell you will change your dating life forever. It will change your life forever. So I want you to give yourself this next hour or so fully present. I want you to focus. I want you to stay with me, and I want you to get every last single bit you possibly can out of this. So turn off your notifications, turn off your email, tell your friends and family you are doing something important. In fact, gather them around if they can support you or they have similar issues, and get yourself a snack, get yourself warm and cozy, lock the door, and dedicate yourself to this next hour or so for just you to get exactly what you need. If you're serious about love, do this for yourself. Okay? Give yourself this time. I hope you're comfortable. Here's a little more about me. I'm Lori Gerber. I have been coaching couples and singles for the last 20 years. I have led thousands of events and webinars. I have been the resident love and dating expert at places like Match, Zoosk, JDate, and countless of other organizations that aim to help daters. I am quoted. I've appeared on the Today Show, the Dr. Phil Show. I've been quoted in Vogue, Business Insider, et cetera, et cetera. I've done a TEDx talk. I've been trained in the Handel Method's 3H method of dating, which I will introduce you to later. I'm deeply trained in that. And I'm not telling you all of this to brag about all the things I've done. I'm just letting you know that I have learned the tools to help you get the love that you want. And I am your final stop if dating is your struggle. Okay, just imagine getting all the tools you need in one place. Your final stop, like I said. Imagine you've done the right work to heal yourself, get your head on straight, and approach dating like you mean it. What would that be like? Ask yourself that. Imagine feeling good about dating, having fun dating, enjoying and feeling confident in each interaction. Can you see it? Imagine being able to trust yourself to know when to continue or when to stop. Imagine being sure you're finding your person, and then all of a sudden, as if out of the blue, finding them. Would that make you happy? I have helped so many people do exactly that, and it makes me so happy too. Now, most dating coaches are getting it wrong because they keep making money if you stay dating. Whereas my single motivation is for you to do the right work pretty quickly and succeed at believing in love and then finding your person. You see, my real passion is staying in love, but I have to get you there first. Now, before we go any further and I start letting you in on some of the secrets that have unlocked love for my clients in the past, we need to agree on one thing. The main thing I want you to understand is that it is you that is holding you back from love. I hope that makes sense to you. It may seem like bad news, but it's actually the best news ever, because guess who's in charge of you? You. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my own journey of taking charge of my love story, because I think it's so important, this piece of taking charge. Now, I've been with my husband for a really long time, but by the time I had found him, I had been through many bad relationships. You see, I was more interested in proving that I could conquest somebody, or even proving that love was a struggle, than I ever was in proving that I could have love. So I would pick somebody who was really hot and not really intellectually appropriate for me, and often didn't like me all that much. And then, smarting from the rejection of that person, I would immediately then go to the next guy who was nice to me and smart enough, but there was no attraction. So that would fizzle so fast that we would both have whiplash. So I would go back and forth from being rejected to rejecting, back and forth, until I was exhausted. Let me just share the screen again. Now, at this point, I realized it was me manifesting all of these experiences. And whereas I don't regret any of it, really, I learned so much from it. Personally, I was ready to get serious and stop exhausting myself. So I decided that all my past experiences didn't add up to why I shouldn't believe in love, but instead, if I learned from them, they added up to why I should believe in love. Now, I took a really honest inventory of what my parents had taught me about love, and I took a really honest inventory of my shenanigans in my dating history, and I decided to do it differently, to look for something different and then be sure to make it work. Now, I think that this I think that this change of mindset is what makes it possible for the right matches to start to show up. It's as if they're blocked or somehow invisible until you get clear on your past and your future. So really soon after my mindset shift, I met my now husband, Will. It was not rainbows and unicorns, but here's what was different. We matched well. We had the similar intellect, values, background. We wanted the same things. We wanted to live in the city, have 2 or more kids, careers that help the world. We really admired each other. We saw how our dreams intersected well. Plus, we were attracted. Finally, I had picked well. And because we were a good match, he picked me back. Like I said, it was not perfect at the beginning. We had that basic compatibility, but there were a lot of issues to iron out. For example, I was not the best listener when we started out together. Our power dynamic could get a little complicated, and we had to learn safe ways to communicate so both of us would feel heard. Now, no relationship that's worth it and that lasts is easy. There is work to do on an ongoing basis, but luckily I had these tools, the ones that I'm going to introduce you today. And they worked for everything from disagreements, just minor ones, to making our sex life better. And guess what? They still work today, decades later. Making the choice to take full responsibility for my past and my future was critical. Instead of blaming my parents, my exes, or even myself, I chose to stand fully in my power, owning my past choices and forgiving myself for any I wasn't totally proud of. I made the choice to look soberly at what I brought from my family of origin, from my past relationships, and declare that none of that was some sort of determinant of what was possible for my future. The same is true for you, for sure. You can tackle your false beliefs that are holding you back. You can make the choice to go full in for what you want. And I'm going to teach you the secrets I have learned for how to turn your dating life around, just like I did and countless of my clients have. But can you see that you have false beliefs about love too? I hope you're saying yes. I hope you're screaming yes. Okay. Any of these ring true? You don't believe love is really possible for you. You don't think you can pick well or be picked. You don't think you have what it takes to sustain a healthy relationship. Maybe you never have in the past. You don't believe it's easy to turn it all around with simple tools. Let's start with number one. Love is not possible for me. It would be very foolish for me to start to give you the how to when you don't even really believe it's possible. Imagine if I started telling you how to pray and you don't even believe in God. That does not make sense and it doesn't work. So do a little self-assessment right here. Ask yourself, have I been trying and feel like I am just working so hard and I've tried everything? Or are you avoiding the game altogether, hoping that that desire to find love will just pass? Anyone? If those describe you, you likely don't believe in love, or you don't believe in love for you. Belief, however, is the number one most important ingredient in finding your person, and it is impossible to get there without it. Now, I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons it's valid that you don't believe. You're valid, okay? Understandably, you don't believe in love because number one, your role models probably stink. I mean, think about the people you've been watching. Think about celebrities. Think about your parents, their marriage or their lack of marriage. In most cases, it's not looking great as a role model. And we can't help it. We are literally immersed in our culture of our family and the culture of our society, in the beliefs, practices, and culture, right? And so it is almost impossible to think outside of the models that you have grown up with. And if they were not awesome, there is no way that you're going to necessarily believe in love. It's kind of like language, your first language. It's even if you learn a new one, you're not going to forget the old one. You're still probably going to dream in your first language. So that is very real. The second is your personal love history, where you've continued to possibly prove some bad theories. So your personal love history is riddled with unresolved stuff, probably, that you hold against yourself, you hold against your exes, and yikes, sometimes you hold against your future potential mates. That's very common and very problematic for you finding your person. And third, you've not been doing the right work. Right? Schools don't teach it. Your parents don't teach it. So it's very unlikely you've been doing the right work on yourself to really ripen yourself to find your person. Now, considering these 3 factors, it makes complete sense that you might not believe and therefore cannot attract, period. I could really end the webinar right there because it's the most important point, but I want to give you hope. It's going to require, once again, that you agree to something. That's one thing. It is your responsibility to figure this out and fall in love. And I'm going to remind you that over and over again. If you ever see me again, continue coaching with me, I'm going to remind you this is your responsibility. And that's such good news. It's the number one thing I want you to wake up and decide again every single day. Nobody, not even me, is coming to save you. Your parents weren't able to teach you. I mean, they're cave people, right? They couldn't help you. They couldn't save you. They couldn't teach you. They had their role models who were your grandparents. Your culture is likely has its head up its ass. There's really no cultures that are being really impressive about profound, loving, equal partnerships that last a lifetime. Nobody's really acing this. So it is most definitely up to you and you alone. And if you keep blaming or looking outside yourself, this won't work. So can I get your agreement? Can I get your thumbs up? I'm assuming you are shouting yes. Thank you. Okay. You may have lineage to break and old wounds to heal, but love is worth it and it is your job. Once you agree to it, there is specific work to do, what I'm calling the right work. And it includes these things. So number one, I'm giving you your roadmap here. Number one, a full reckoning of your family history to establish the patterns you're here to break. Number two, a full reckoning of your love history to establish the patterns you're here to break. Number three, if necessary, a love detox from anyone you're not over. And number four, an agreement to build your list of what you want based on your dreams, not on your past or your heavy load of baggage. Now I'm going to say a little bit more about each of these. So your family history. When it comes to lineage, and this goes for your natural birth, biological parents, as well as anyone who might have raised you, or if you're adopted, those who adopted you. There is no escaping that you are either doing their very same patterns or trying to do the exact opposite and sometimes ending up in a very similar situation, or doing a variation on a theme of their patterns. Okay. Those are the only three I've ever found in my 20 years of coaching people. There is no escaping where you come from. This apple is very close to the tree. It is your first language. So again, I do recommend, if your first language isn't the way you want it to be regarding love and what's possible for you, you can learn a new language. That's what I'm teaching, but you're going to have to deal with the language you already know and dream in and think in. Okay. So you can't ignore you can't ignore where you come from. Bottom line, can't ignore where you come from. Number 2, regarding your love history, we do a very specific exercise for this. If you continue on with me, if you do Master the Art of Love, you're going to step by step do this in writing. And it is a chart basically of your love history. And there is no substitute for writing this down. Talking to a therapist, talking to your friends, complaining about it, thinking about it is not the same as a written inventory where you can see the patterns in black and white before your very eyes. This gives you the power to stop doing the pattern. And this is the exercise that helped me discover my pendulum swing back and forth and finally taught me what having it all could in fact look like. I want the same for you. The third piece is only for those of you who are not over someone. That usually goes for a lot of us, where we still feel something for someone and we're not fully cleansed or detoxed, as I like to say, from that relationship. So there, again, part of the Master the Art of Love course is a full explanation of what we call the love detox. But here are the 6 steps right here in this slide. You can read them at your leisure here. And just understand that this is how you can assure that once and for all, you're really over someone. If you don't do all the steps, just like a wound that isn't fully cleaned, it may not heal as well as you want, or the scar may be bigger or darker than you want. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to heal it, close it, put it into your past. And here's the big secret there. There's no such thing as the one that got away. So if this person that you still think about got away, isn't your person, then they're not your person, right? They weren't supposed to be your person. And we really want to impress upon you that there is no such thing as the one that got away. You can let go. With all this healing work done, you're free to really dream. So you must agree to build the list of what you want based on your dreams, your real criteria, not on your past, not on your baggage. Now, your criteria and what you attract will be different once you do this work on your history. You might be thinking the past predicts the future. That's very common, that your parents or you have been messing it up forever, or at least so far, and that's your ultimate destiny. That is a false belief. The secret is, if you do the right work and you know what you're looking for, you will find your person. The past actually sets you up to be smart for your future. It does not destine your failure. False belief number 1, you don't believe love is really possible for you. Truth, there are steps to take to heal and believe differently. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, I want to say a few more things for you folks out there who may be thinking you're too quirky, your demands are too much, there just isn't someone for you according to you. You might be able to prove yourself right, but you are not statistically correct. First of all, once you've done your healing work, I'm going to underline this a bit more. Once you've done your healing work, you're going to be much riper. Just contrast that to a person who hasn't, who just walks in with all their baggage on a date and starts complaining about their exes and starts being judgmental and starts quizzing and interrogating you about the things that went wrong in the past relationship. That is not a fun person to be with. You're going to be the kind of person who comes into a date fresh and present and open and fun. Okay, so the healing work makes you much more attractive. Second of all, you're going to narrow down your actual needs. So you right now might have a very long list of what you think you need. And guess what? All of a sudden, you're going to figure out it's really a much shorter list. And then all of a sudden, you're going to realize there are way more candidates than you thought. Third of all, look around. Look at all the people with quirks who found love. Right? Duh. Statistically, it's very possible. Almost everyone who is not currently with someone is looking for love. And some people who are currently with someone are looking for love. Okay. The odds are actually very much in your favor of finding someone purely from a mathematical standpoint. And I also want to point this out. I mentioned it, but I really want to underline it. There is a moment you get to when you're doing this work where there's that click, right? That mindset shift where you have owned your past, your future, and you have decided that you are in charge. And that is when a new crop of better people starts to show up to match your better attitude and better confidence. Lastly, stop feeding yourself garbage about what's possible. Nothing new would ever happen if we did that. I'm thinking most likely you are just being a chicken. Have you considered that? If you're still peddling peddling the idea that love's not possible for you, just consider maybe you are scared. But so what? That's not an excuse to avoid the work. You've done plenty of things in the face of fear. And we are all in this together. Literally, if you just look up, you'll see everyone is looking for love and everyone's scared. And you are not alone. So let's put one foot in front of the other. False belief number 2. Okay, I know dating sites are exhausting. It's scary to meet people in real life. You might feel like you've been out of the game for too long, or you've just been doing it wrong. And that brings us to false belief number 2. You don't think you can learn to pick well or be picked. Do you relate to this? Here's the truth. When you pick well, they pick you back. Let's focus on what you can control. When I work with my clients one-on-one on resolving the past, it results in a new concept of what a person is looking for. Remember, I said it's simpler, it's sweeter, it's less complicated, it's more pure. Because here's the secret. When you pick what really works for you, most likely they see it too, and they pick you back. If they don't pick you back, rest assured, they are not your one. Now, there are 3 voices inside you that have real needs. This is the 3H method of dating I mentioned from the Handel group earlier. There's the head, the heart, and the hoo-ha. The head is what you need for your life to make sense, intertwined with that person, the practical stuff. The heart needs it to feel good, and the hoo-ha needs to be turned on. We call this the 3 H's. Those are the 3 voices inside that have real needs, and they're lobbyists. They're talking to you at all times when it comes to dating. And I'm just going to say, I don't think you've been considering each. I know I wasn't. Right? I was going back and forth. Now, in Master the Art of Love, you'll spend real time going through each of these criteria and really asking yourself about each so that you can narrow down what's really most important. But let me share some slides, and you can ask yourself some questions about them as I go. I'll just speak a little bit about what's covered under each H. Okay, this is a fun time to take notes to try to figure out yours. So under head is things like your location and whether or not you want kids. These are crucial. Sometimes people will think they can negotiate on these once you have fallen in love. I don't recommend it. For most of us, there are plenty of options among people who live in a normal distance from where we live who want the same thing you want in terms of family. Those are some of the ones I think are absolutely most important. But just going down the line, are you compatible in your time availability? Does one of you want to spend 24/7 together and the other one just weekends? Are you compatible with your money? Doesn't mean you're the same. It just means it works, right? Like it's not like one of you can go on vacations and the other ones can't, right? Or one's up in the business class and the other one's back in coach. Do you like to do fun and recreational things in a way that, again, it doesn't have to be the same, but that meshes well? So does the way you like to spend holidays, vacation, do fitness, do food, do those things match up well? Because that's going to be a lot of your life together. Do your careers match up well? Do your dreams match up well? Do where you want to be in 5-10 years match up with where they want to be in 5 to 10 years well together logistically? For some people, politics and religion are important because it's a big part of your life. And again, it doesn't have to be the same, but there has to be a level of support there, for example. Pets and allergies, it's a simple one. But again, if you love your cat or your dog, or you're allergic to cats or dogs, that's something you might want to get out of the way early on in dating. And then there's education. Again, it doesn't matter to some people, but it does for others. Addictions and bad habits. Again, I would recommend you don't rule things out carte blanche, but you really have very clear boundaries and ideas of what is too triggering for you or not. And health issues, same thing, right? You might be open, everybody's got stuff, but there might be certain things that are true boundaries for you. So that would all fall under the category of head, logistics, practical, logistical. Is my life going to work with your life? Heart has to do with how it feels. So what's the energy of it? Does it feel comfortable? Does it feel equal? Are you having fun? Are you laughing with each other? Does it feel like the give and take is good? Is the listening good? Do you want to tell stuff to the other person? How's the independence? Do you think you're going to be compatible in terms of how much reliance on each other versus independence you like? That's very important right now. A lot of my daters are concerned about that because we've obviously proven we can live without each other, but do we want to? The amount of attention you need and the kinds of attention you need fall under the category of heart. The activities you like to do, how you show up in your families and want them to show up in your families, and how you want to show up in their family, very important to the heart usually. And I would also put dreams under here as well. There's the logistical aspect of, do your dreams match, like where you want to work, where you want to live, but there's also the heart aspects. Are you proud of what the other one wants to accomplish? Can you cheer them on for what they want to accomplish? And do you feel like they are going to cheer you on and support you in what you want to accomplish in your life? That is a matter of the heart. And then finally, the hoo-ha. Okay. Now, in most cases, we think of that as literally the looks, right? The hair color, eye color, weight, height. I will warn you, that is not a very good determinant of whether you're going to be happy and turned on in a relationship. It turns out it's what people think. And I'm not saying don't have a type or don't have what you're attracted to, but I really encourage my daters to be very open-minded when it comes to the hoo-ha factor, and go way more by how you feel when you're with them. Are you turned on? Do you want to kiss them? Versus setting certain height or weight or eye color, hair color, race, etc. Setting those criteria really limits you from finding your person. So be very careful what your hoo-ha criteria are, but obviously all of the things on this list apply. So looks, age, weight, height, clothing, style, swagger, sex appeal. So again, how someone carries themselves, how they dress, and that je ne sais quoi of their sex appeal, how they flirt, all of that, what they like in bed, right? How willing they are to talk about what they like in bed, how open they are. If you have a kink, do they respect, like, or are they willing to participate in it? So these are all important things to really figure out when you're first dating someone early on, because if you're not compatible there, that's not your 3H match. That is a good friend, but that is not going to be your 3H match for a lifetime. So hoo-ha is really important. It's one that people often sell out on, which we'll discuss in a moment. And in the Master the Art of Love course with me, I teach you how to find your deal breakers in each. So there's the things you want and are nice to have, but there's also your deal breakers, the things that are just absolutely no-nos. And if those turn out to be true, that's a abort the mission moment. Because trust me, all things are not equally important. And that's very good for you to discern what are the nice to have and what are the need to have. Because again, the more you have on your need to have list, the smaller your pool. If you can get that list smaller, the larger your pool will be. And that's what we want. So I'm also going to teach you in that course how to find your sellout strategy. Remember, my sellout strategy was I would flop between all hoo-ha and then all head and then all hoo-ha and then all head. Hopefully you remember my story. You have your sellout strategy. Now, left to their own devices, the three H's do not get along. They argue like siblings. They fight for dominance. They pretend like the other ones don't matter. And it's a scarcity model where each of the H's doesn't get 100% of the vote, but a mere 33 if you're splitting it equally, giving them no choice but to be at war with each other and always in a state of imbalance and competition. So, for example, if your head to STD scares later has 68% of the vote and wants to date only nice, safe, great on paper and blood work people, your heart gets 25% of the vote and agrees. Your hoo-ha is left with 7%, and it is left what? High and dry. So when you truly believe that each H gets an equal vote, and you understand that no H has to sell out, and any concession each H makes is out of its own 100%, then the voices in your head don't have to operate out of fear and they can stop competing. So with scarcity out of the way, each of the clients that I work with then is left faced with the real issue, which is the fourth H, the hunt. And in the hunt, that's the real challenge, right? Believing in the whole package, learning to love learning, learning to love looking, learning to embrace failing and dates that don't go well until you succeed in this most important adventure called love. So you have to keep thinking it's 100% for each H, not 100% total 300% to play with. And I actually have my clients rate each potential mate on a scale of 1 to 10 in each H, and nobody gets a fourth date unless all H's are 8 or above. Okay, so it's a very clear rating system that then becomes your criteria so you can feel safe and knowing when to stop and when to keep going. More on that, I'm sure, to discuss. Now ask yourself, what's your pattern? How do you sell out? Are you someone who sells out on the head and just goes for the fun and then ends up heartbroken, or just with the person never moving to where you want to go or never having kids? Are you one who sells out on the heart? Maybe you go for someone who looks good on paper, or you go for someone who's really hot, but you don't trust them. Or maybe you sell out on hoo-ha and you really just want to make it work with someone nice who's kind to you and smart, but you're not actually that attractive. So I hope you figured it out. If you didn't, you have time. Where do you sell out? Now, once you're clear about how you sell out, your pattern, and you are armed with some clues about what you want, and you know your deal breakers, you can earnestly start your hunt, your search. And it is a numbers game. So you will need to get in the game and play it, not because you'll necessarily find someone on X or Y site, but because you have to send the energetic message out that you mean it and you're willing to do the work. Because remember, energetics are at play here. It's not just head and body, it's also heart, and that heart is felt. You're going to need to learn exact questions to ask. These are some of the things I cover. How to get to your criteria through those questions elegantly without feeling like an interrogation, how and when to ask them. Now, I have a generic list, but every client also makes a customized list based on their own criteria of great questions to ask. And if the person likes you and is attracted to you, don't worry, they will be happy to answer your questions because they're going to be fun questions, and they'll be happy to listen to your answers as well. And if they're not attracted to you, we want to let them move on quickly anyway. And so I teach my clients a very specific method of assessing the answers and then rating each person across all three H's after each date, with the goal of having that final answer about whether or not it's a good match after 3 dates. Okay, that's a very quick snapshot of the policy. The 3-date limit ends dating fatigue and proving bad theories about dating being hard. So set your limit now and forever and put the pressure on yourself to get your answers and move fast until you get struck. Struck is a whole new thing. Have you ever felt it? Like, oh my gosh. You have to wait for it and you have to believe in it. And I've seen it so many times. It is so awesome. Each no gets you closer to that yes, that struckness. So no's are sacred. No's are to be expected and respected. It will be different with the one. I love teaching people how to play this game for maximum fun and minimum fatigue and maximum and speedy results. Imagine always knowing how to assess whether a person gets a first date and each next date. Imagine having a concrete way to feel out if someone's right for you and to keep all the three H's in balance and always knowing what next question to ask. Imagine having that built-in protection against your personal pitfalls built into your dating system. Imagine going into dating with the confidence that all of this would give you. Doesn't this sound good? I think so. Okay, so to summarize, false belief number 2, you don't have what it takes to pick well and be picked. Truth, there's a system for getting clear and for vetting your dates accordingly. Wouldn't it be such a relief to know each date was going to be meaningful and in your control? I'm going to teach you the tricks from video chats to assess the chemistry to limited first dates to how to ask the best questions, because knowing how to date makes dating less tiring and more fun. And each date is going to have a purpose and be productive. So you're either going to learn something, you're going to teach somebody something or contribute to somebody, or you're going to network for friendship or for business, or you're going to find the love of your life. So there are no wasted dates. Okay, I'm going to move on to the third false belief. I want to address this. So it occurred to me because I have a client that was actually very confident in getting dates. But once she got the dates, she had trouble sustaining the quality conversations over time into a relationship. So I gave her ready-made questions, of course, and you'll get them too and master the art of love. And that's helpful, but you need more because there's only so much that first list will do. You need the confidence to know that in real life, you'll be able to have real conversations about anything. And since you won't be finding someone perfect, I guarantee that, you will need the skills to maintain healthy communication throughout a relationship as new things come up. So if you've ever struggled with hard conversations, this is for you. A lack of faith in sustaining good communication is a major obstacle to finding love. You likely have not experienced a lot of good examples, a lot of role models that show you how to have hard conversations, maybe yelling and fighting, maybe avoiding, but most people are not modeling good, healthy resolution of conflicts. So I don't just coach daters, I also coach couples. I've been coaching relationships for the last 20 years as well. And everyone has the same issues in communication, I'm happy to tell you. And they are solvable, especially if you have chosen your mate based on the 3H criteria, the 3H method from Handel Group. That makes it a lot more likely this will work. So we are not taught how to stay truthful to each other. That is not part of our human culture yet. So we might start early in a relationship feeling comfortable enough to bare our souls and tell our secrets, but slowly over time, most of us start to send out what we call a PR agent. So somebody who represents us the way we think will look best to the other, but is not our full selves. So we decide what to tell and what not to tell. And that goes for if we get attracted to someone, or if we're hiding our spending, or we're upset about something, or we're just not getting enough of something that we need, we take it underground. Humans naturally lie. We hide, we omit. There are no exceptions. And I've been studying this for 20 years. So why would we trust ourselves? Why would we trust others in a relationship? There's actually no reason to, unless you ground your relationship from the beginning in these honesty principles that I am teaching you. And you will be a breath of fresh air to someone you are dating, because this is not popular yet, unfortunately. So this means you have to learn how to have an honest conversation, which is, I would say, both an art and a science. The couples that I know that are thriving continue to use these concepts to this day. There is not going to be a time when you won't have some sort of change in your relationship, in your life, some sort of conflict. And so you're going to need the tools to deal. Again, I cover this more fully in depth in Master the Art of Love, including a checklist I give you to laminate so you can just use it over and over again. It gets sweaty, it gets bloody, it gets tears, it gets coffee. So that's why I say laminate it. But here's a little taste of it, just real quick. There are 8 steps to a difficult conversation. And they're all really important. And it takes practice to learn this. And it sometimes takes real diligence to make sure that you cover all of the points. So you always have to ask permission. Listen, I want to have a tricky conversation with you. Is now a good time? Let me just explain the purpose. I keep having this thought about not getting some text from you over the weekend, and I just want to check in so we're on the same page. I want to make sure we have a culture of honesty with each other where I'm not grumbling in my head, not saying it out loud. And I really hope that you don't feel that I'm being nitpicky. I'm concerned that you might think that I'm trying to control you. I'm really not. I really just want to explain what my experience was. And that was explaining your concerns. Step number 3. Step 4, I might be extra sensitive. I'm about to get my period, or, this is something that's happened in my past. So maybe this is just a trigger for me. I really am open to that. There's some misunderstanding going on. And now you're finally ready for step 5 to say the thing. So you would say, listen, I got a bunch of texts from you during the week, but then all of a sudden this weekend, you didn't answer my texts and I didn't understand what was going on. Number 6, get the other person talking. Hey, can you just let me in on what was going on for you in your world so I can understand you better, get to know you better. And then you listen, which means not something I'm going to role model on this in this masterclass, but imagine that you then shut up and you listen to whatever they're saying, preferably take notes on what they're saying, because you're going to want to say back to them what you heard. So they really know that you were listening and they really feel heard, that their perspective was what you wanted. You weren't just trying to dump on them or blame them or criticize them. You really wanted to know what was going on in their world. And then once you hear what they have to say, maybe they were away on a business trip, or they got distracted by their mother coming to town, or their phone died, or they lost their phone, or who knows what happened. But perhaps you will then come up with a new agreement for the future. If you're going to be away from your phone for more than a day, let me know in advance. If I don't hear from you by text, I'll call you. If I haven't heard from you in a day, whatever it's going to be. So you'll come up with new agreements. That is a really quick summary, but it just gives you a sense of how it's a muscle, right? Like, if you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer, they're going to take you through arms, legs, back, right? There's steps to it to get the kind of body you want. There's steps to it to get the kind of intimacy you want. And if you skip steps, there's going to be a weakness. And if you learn the steps and you practice them, not only will you get better at it, more confident in it, and know you can tackle anything, but the person you're with is going to learn it too. And then they're going to feel safe to talk about things and to know that the culture of honesty that I was speaking about is going to be the norm in the relationship. And that's really the only way to go these days, right? Because human beings do lie. So you're going to have to forge a new path with another person who wants to do the same. Very important tool. Okay. And by the way, if you happen to be awkward talking about sex, for example, that is covered in Master the Art of Love as well, as a particular topic, because so many people obviously have issues with that. False belief number 3, you don't have what it takes to sustain a healthy relationship. Truth, you can learn the tools that successful couples use. Picking well and being picked is a matter of confidence, and tools give you confidence. And the ugly truth is, if you don't have that confidence, it's because you have not valued yourself enough to take the time to learn this, to focus on this, like you would on your business, or you would on your taxes, or you would on your wardrobe, right? This is the most important thing, love. And people don't take the time to focus on it and do the right work. Now, what do I mean by taking the time? You may have spent years complaining. You may have spent years worrying. You may have spent years swiping. I understand. No, I don't mean that. I mean the time to articulate really and drill down on what you want and be vulnerable enough to feel that in your heart and emanate that. And the time to really learn the tools to vet people well and to sustain good communication with the right person. Remember, I told you about that click that happens? Well, we have gone through a handful of false beliefs that you have to give up. And I hope you've decided it is worth it to give them up. I hope you can see that the right work gets you to that click, it gets you to that different place. So pretty soon I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite stories of someone who had her click and overcame her love drought. But I want to just address one more false belief and give you one more secret. False belief number 4. You don't believe you could turn it around by just listening and doing these exercises and following these practices. That's the doubt that might be coming up. And I know when you have tried everything, when you've done therapy and courses and you've read blogs and you've complained to your friends and you've gone on lots and lots of dates, maybe it is easy to want to give up because you're tired. And I really get that. So false belief number 4, you don't believe you could turn it around by just listening and doing these exercises and following the practices, the new practices I'm teaching you. The truth is, this method works every day. And I want to share just one really moving success story that I love. So I want to introduce you to Diane. I'm just going to tell you her story. She had always wanted to be in a relationship and she knew it, but she had lost her brother at a young age and she had not processed the emotions and it left her feeling kind of numb in general. So when she came to me for coaching, she said she was not sure what she wanted. She didn't know what love was. And there was just fear, a lot of fear there. And she was very good at distracting herself, very busy with work, very busy with friends, going out all the time. She even got herself a lot of dates, right? But I think she even knew that she wasn't dating seriously to find her person because she would just find something wrong with everyone on the first or second date. But all her friends started to pair up and get married and started to have kids. And so she felt the pressure to get serious. So she came to me and she said, I'm ready for my click. I'm ready to do my work to resolve these feelings. And so we did, and we processed that grief and it opened up her heart. It really opened up her heart to be free to now find love. And so she had that mindset shift. She had that heart shift. And now she was ready to hear my instructions on how to date, right? So all of a sudden dates became more fun, more productive, more engaging. She learned something on all of her dates and it was no longer a chore, but it was effective. And then she met Noah. Now, Noah was someone who she really appreciated. She loved his heart. He was not perfect. He did not meet every criteria, but she loved his heart. She loved the way he treated her. And there was attraction, right? Now, there were practical issues to work out. And luckily, she had the communication tools that I had taught her because one by one, they did sort out each of those practical issues. And I caught up with her recently a few months ago, and she said they still use those tools today to make sure that they can tell each other anything. And she also told me that about 3 months ago, he proposed to her. And she said yes. Now, this is one of my very favorite moments for my clients. It just feels like all of our work has paid off. And that's just one example. I could tell you so many more. But enough about other people. If you are feeling sick and tired of failing at dating, if you're ready for some support, it is time for you to make a choice. You can continue on with the strategy that you're currently using and keep being frustrated, or use my years of experience helping people find love to work for you. Master the Art of Love is my course, and it lays out tools that thousands of my clients have used to meet their match. Now, I offer private coaching through this entire process. So covering all those points, resolving your history, your past, setting up your criteria, your dating rules, learning all of the tools for the ongoing successful communication for that love that lasts. Now, private coaching with me costs $650 a session, and most clients do 24 sessions with me. That's $15,600. And trust me, people change their mind and their habits and their behaviors when they spend that much. But that is not the solution that works for most people, because most people can't afford that. And a lot of people are in a rush and they want to actually move faster than that. So that is exactly why I created this digital course that covers all the things, plus gives you access to live coaching with me and a community for support of like-minded people, and all the spreadsheets and resources that my private clients get, and so much more. The course is valued at $2,000, but I don't want to charge that much. I want it to be super affordable for everyone. So I have worked to automate things and get that price down even further. Now, I will be giving you the link to sign up. You'll be finding it shortly below, but I want to tell you a little bit more about the course and some of the bonuses I have not mentioned yet, because I have created a very special offer right now. And it's for those folks who get to the end of the masterclass to hear about. So thank you for staying around this long to learn about it. So this is a jam-packed course, Master the Art of Love. It gives you the tools to believe in love, find it, and keep it, right? 3-step process. So you start by letting go of the past and those limiting beliefs. Then you focus on what you want now, right? Those 3 H's, how to go about dating using that proven method. And then lastly, you learn how to keep love and sex alive and well and great. So the first module handles how to get over past loves and help you learn all the right lessons from those so that you take the good from them. Then we walk you through the process of creating your own 3H chart and determining your true type. In module 2, we cover the do's and don'ts of actual dating. That is what to do on each of the first 3 dates. And you develop your list of questions specialized for you and learn that 3-date strategy. In module 3, we hack into long-term relationships, teaching you the communication tools you will need to address those awkward moments, yes, including sex. And also in module 3, we cover the types of rituals that successful couples have, so you can be inspired and design your own rituals. And all of that, like I said, valued at $2,000, but I have not told you about the bonuses. And the first bonus is access to the video library. So I am forever adding videos. There are hundreds of them now about everything people ask me, from everything to do with how to date to how to be successful on an ongoing basis in a relationship. And if there is a topic I have not covered, could happen, you just ask and I will add it to the video library. So you get access to the video library. You also get access to the community. The community is like-minded individuals also who are dating, and that's a way that y'all can cheer each other on, share stories, ask questions, and feel like you are not alone. It's incredible what people get from their friends in this versus from me. It's just a beautiful combination of support. Now we are at a value of $2,000. So you get the video library, the access to the community, and also group coaching with me. So monthly, I'm doing live group coaching. It's me. It's just like this, except you're here face to face with me. And I will get to the heart of your specific pattern. So this is how I make sure you're actually doing the work, you're getting the right insights from the work, and that you are breaking through and making changes. That's really where the big value is. And that is why you should get going right now, so you can come to the next group coaching and get inspired and get coached. Now we're at a value of $9,800. So you get the video library, the access to the community, the group coaching with me, and also a private coaching session with me. So if you finish the course, which is my challenge to you, I'm going to give you another special bonus assignment, very advanced, that I give my clients, and you will be able to sign up for a private session with me. Now we are at $10,450 of value with the video library, the access to the community, the group coaching, and the private coaching, in addition to, of course, the course. And then finally, you're going to get all of these worksheets that the clients get. So worksheets like the relationship history worksheet, the top 10 questions to cover, the art of the difficult conversation worksheet, the Love-O-Meter quiz, which I haven't mentioned yet, but is all about how to assess how you're doing, right? Once you're in a relationship, are you going to keep it good? Okay, like maintenance, very important. So the value of the course and the bonuses is $12,650. So I really tried to put everything in here. Now, let me ask you, let's say I did charge you that $12,650, which you already know I'm not going to, but would it be worth it if all it did was make dating fun again? Would it be worth it? If all it did was give you the confidence to know you'd find your person, Wouldn't it be worth it? If all it did was get you off the dating sites once and for all, for some of you, that would be worth it. If all it did was get you out of having to go on any more first dates, would it be worth it? If all it did was get you the love of your life, would it be worth it? Yeah, I think so. But now I'm going to tell you the actual price. I'm not going to charge you $12,650 or even the $297 it retails for, because you watch this masterclass. I know you're serious, and I know you're going to take advantage of all the things that I have built and created, which will make me feel good. So I'm going to give you the very special price of $129. That's it. And you can do group coaching with me for a year and avail yourself of the program forever and the group forever. So not $12,650, not $297, $129. And for folks who are ready to dive in and make these changes and be brave and take action, that is your price. So click below to sign up. It's now time. And then I will see you in less than a month, face-to-face, for group coaching. We're going to start. You should start listening right away, and you should look out for the invitation to the first group coaching session. Now, good news, if you are someone who has been scarred before, like you purchased something and then you didn't use it or you didn't find it useful, I also offer a money-back guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee. So I want you to feel really safe that you can try this out, even if you are not 1,000% sure. And I want you to take action now. If you are inspired, if you're ready to be done exhausting yourself and depressing yourself and start focusing on the right action, purchase this course. There, in case you don't see the link, it's lorigerber.com/go. You can get started listening right now and enjoy the bonuses right now. So what are you waiting for? You're going to continue doing what you've been doing and racking up more anxiety, more trust issues, more baggage? No, no, no. Make the investment in your love life once now. That will last you a lifetime. Just click below, get my full support on your dating journey. Okay, that is the invitation. That is the end of the formal content. Please keep in mind that your false beliefs are false. The truth is the truth, and these secrets work if you work them. I look forward to seeing you and supporting you in your dating journey, folks. Let's just see if there's one more thing I want to tell you. I think there is. Yes, there is. One more thing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it to the end. You can chat with me on Facebook or Instagram. I post most days on Instagram, so make sure you're following me there. If you're not, Lori_Gerber_coach, and look for my emails, and feel free to email me back too. It's really me here. This is like really me behind all of this. So if you email, you're probably going to reach me. If you DM, you're probably going to reach me. So just be in touch however you roll, whether it's email, Instagram, or Facebook. I cannot wait to celebrate your success. I hope to see you in the next group coaching. And thank you again for caring about love. It's the most important thing.